What's up? I have, of course, I was watching the news last night and I saw the riots that were going on in Minnesota and also in Atlanta. And I was shocked to see it go on in Atlanta because Atlanta is the hub of so many black owned businesses and operations, right, in Atlanta. So a lot of property damage were done. The CNN building was damaged, as well as some black-owned businesses were damaged, severely damaged, where some were completely damaged. And so I was asking a question with some of my Facebook friends, even with Jedediah, a fellow activist in Chicago that is in Atlanta now. What is that going to do destroying a black owned business? Because if you're destroying something that is black owned, what about that black brother or sister? How are they going to be able to rebuild? Because some of them, it takes them a lot to build a business. So you are literally are giving ammunition to the media to create a narrative. Now, it is a lot of folks that are protesting that are not from those areas. A lot of folks are traveling to go to Minnesota. They're traveling to get to Atlanta, and they're not even from those cities, and they're protesting. And they're not doing it peacefully. If you're going to protest, protest peacefully, because when you be destructive, now you give the governor of Minnesota, that happens to be a Democrat, he have now deployed the full National Guard, meaning that he have received so much pressure from the business community that now it's time that you deploy the full National Guard, and they are trained to make sure that it will be peace by any means necessary. Because of the destruction, burning up buildings, burning up the police station, burning up that, you are literally going to regret doing that, because when it's time to get your medications refilled, or if your mom or your dad suffering from COVID-19 and they need some type of antibiotics or some medicine, or how they're going to get it done when the facilities, the pharmacies are burned up and they're looted, what stores are want to go back to those communities? You really have to be wise in this moment. I understand when you say no justice, no peace, but that don't mean that you should destroy property. The peace should be making sure that you are on top of these politicians to make sure that they do what they're supposed to do, or make sure you vote them out. We have to keep that same energy and be strategic. I am totally against destroying property. I know I joke, but at the end of the day, you destroying your neighborhood. When you wake up, where are you gonna go shop and get some food? If you don't have a car and you already in a food desert area and you done already destroyed some grocery stores, where are you gonna go to get groceries if you don't have a car to get to other neighborhoods? Right? And I just think that just making the situation worse than what it is. Now, I am all for protesting. I am all for that. But what I'm not here for is the looting, going into all of these stores, stealing property, destroying property. I'm not for that. I think that is a crime, and I think the police do need to be on that, because some of those businesses are black owned. Some of those businesses are employing your sisters, your brothers, your cousins. And if you destroying the target, there's some black folks, a lot of black folks working those jobs. What are they gonna supposed to do when it's time for them to get a job, when they have to go to work? I had one of my friends on Facebook. He went to work and they had to go home because the place is not doable. So that means they won't get paid, and they're already dealing with a pandemic, right? They already dealing with a serious pandemic. They're already dealing with the COVID-19 crisis, and we're still dealing with that. I have a friend that works at a nursing home. The hours have been cut to none because a lot of residents, some families came and got them. Some have died. One resident tested positive for COVID, got over COVID, and got COVID again, and gave it to some more residents. It spread it. Well, the nursing home said, well, we can't take any more admits because the COVID thing, because whatever the policies was, they didn't do a good job, they didn't handle it properly, and now the employees have to suffer, and now they have to go and find another job because they don't have no hours, because the the patient count is low. So we're yet still dealing with that pandemic. We're yet still dealing with that issue and that problem. But protesting, burning up buildings, and all of that, we are still dealing with a crisis. And you're going to need those facilities, especially dealing with Target, Walmart. You're going to need those brands, right? You're just going to need it, especially if you live in a community that you already don't have options. Now, the black people that are there, because I've seen black folks looting and I also seen white people looting. I saw both. I was looking at the media, I seen both. Y'all need to stop it. Stop allowing these folks that ain't for the movement come in and destroy your neighborhood. Because once they get through destroying, they go back to their suburbs, they go back to their towns, they go back to their neighborhood where they have plenty stores, plenty opportunities, and they'll come to your neighborhood and loot. If those people wasn't there from day one, you need to give them the side eye and say, look, you take that to your neighborhood, but you can't take it to their neighborhood because they already got their neighborhood on lockdown and protected. There's no way in the world you can go to the Beverly Hills or any of these other type wealthy neighborhoods and do what you're doing in your neighborhood, right? They will let you burn your neighborhood down. They don't give a darn. And the only reason why they're speaking up is because a lot of businesses are saying, now is the time, President Trump feels as though that his reelection is being threatened. So anytime that the president have sent a message and a call and said, listen, these AKA thugs are taking over and they're not doing it in the name of George Floyd, you're giving President Trump an argument because you're helping him with his argument because you're committing a crime. So you can't say, well, President Trump, you lied in that moment. No, he didn't lie. You are literally acting as thugs. You're looting, whether you white, whether you black, whomever is stealing and destroying properties and burning up cars. It was one activist by the name of Jedediah Brown that's he's in Atlanta now. I believe he's staying in Atlanta. I saw one of his live videos. He was yelling and cussing, saying, please don't do that to my car. And he was like, who the MF is in charge of this protest? Who's in charge? Because don't y'all getting close to my car. Don't destroy my car. And he's black. He's an activist. So that is what it is. So make sure y'all like the videos. It helps with the analytics. Make sure y'all like the video really quickly. Make sure y'all like the video very, very quickly. And don't give these people what they think of you. It's other ways around it. We have to be very strategic in this minute. So make sure y'all like the video. It's 78 people. Make sure y'all click the video, like the video, like the video. There we go. All right. So it is what it is. President Trump did not answer the question about George Floyd, about the officer being charged. This is not a federal issue. This is a local issue, and this is a state issue. Democrats are running Minnesota. That prosecutor that is in charge of charging the officers he charged one of the officers with a 3rd degree, meaning giving that officer a good defense. He's a Democrat. The governor of Minnesota, Democrat. The mayor of Minnesota, Democrat. These are not Republicans. So that will let you know that every Democrat is not for African Americans. All right? Only thing the federal level can do is when civil rights have been violated. But when you're talking about serving serious time, that's the prosecutor. That's the DA. That's the district attorney. That's your state's attorney. That's the person right then and there in your state, in your city, in your county. This is why we say politics is local. You got to think on the local level. And those are Democrats. And so the president. Right. So I'm sorry about that. Of course, it's going to buffer. We just in a situation. That's why it's so important to click the like button. We will continue the conversation. We will have the phone calls open up. We will definitely do so. We will continue this conversation as well. So we're not going to be on here long because it buffers and all that type of good stuff. So y'all know how that goes. So we did 10 minutes of it. So I went on the show. We reposted that segment. So if you can go back and watch that, make sure you do so. I'm a black man But I am not for looting and burning up property. I'm for on a political front. I'm from I'm from that era that we should just invest and make sure we invest in our communities. Buffering. But yesterday it worked pretty kind of good, but it definitely didn't do a good job today for change, and change had to become so. Yeah, so if you're burning up a black business, that's not good because it's going to be hard for that black business to come back. You know, it's going to be difficult and it's going to be challenging. Especially you're dealing with a lot of businesses that are already struggling for due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So you all got to be very mindful of that. I saw a lot of people protesting without masks. I saw a lot of people protesting or looting without having a proper face mask and covering on, and you're yet still dealing with a virus that are spreading. So definitely you need to be very careful. I highly suggest that be careful, black folks, that you're protesting against some folks that don't look like you, that are looting and destroying property, because when the police come on the scene or when the National Guard come on the scene, who do you think they're going to blame? They're going to blame you. So just be very careful of that. Good morning to everybody. I did wake up very concerned because when the governor said today that he's deploying the full National Guard, and he also said, if you know anybody, please call us so we can send out warrants. So don't go there, get a federal on your record, get a felony on your record. So make sure you be very careful of that because they're not playing. A lot of money has been lost. People jobs are on the line. This is now have turned into political. They're getting pressure from the federal level. So now those Democrats are going to get so tough in that place against crime. So now this is a criminal issue. And unfortunately now people are talking less of George Floyd and more on the looting, more of property damage, more of burning up police cars. It's now focusing on burning up police buildings, burning property. Now the conversation is on there, and that's the narrative the media is going to push, because now you really can't say, well, I'm doing this for George Floyd. Oh, so you're going to rob the Target and take all the items, you know? So no, I don't. That entire focus definitely has been shifted. You know, have it be, is part of this blame. A lot of it is on the prosecutor for not that the day of. Definitely, he should have done that. But again, the people of that area is to blame because they should have never voted him in. And he definitely needs to get voted out. And I personally believe he should resign and had a prosecutor, a special prosecutor, should be over the case. I think that he's biased. I think that prosecutor that's over the case, I think he's acting as a defense attorney of police officers instead of acting as an officer of the court. I think he's more so, I believe he's more so acting as a defense attorney instead of acting on the behalf of the people. I think he's more so concerned about being there for the police and not being there for that person. It's bigger than George Floyd now. So very fine. They don't care about peaceful protests. They only pay attention when people are start acting a fool. In no way wins either way. No, absolutely. Do, 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 All right, thank y'all so much. Enough is enough. Make sure y'all throw more. I just had to address this really short, sweet. Usually, I want to thank Amin Brown because we recorded a video the day before yesterday. We streamed it yesterday, so that's pretty much what I would do because obviously the connection is not really that great for me to do a live show, so we just have to pre-record. So I didn't do one yesterday because I actually went to sleep. I was tired yesterday, so I just went to sleep yesterday. So that's what I did. Thank you all so very much. And if you want to see the replay, make sure you go back and comment and thumbs up. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning to you.